Hey, welcome eating fans, another edition of Beautiful Brian's Corner. I haven't seen you guys in a while. I've been kind of busy, and it's hard to get guests of late. So there was a little conflict with some of the upcoming guests, but we got one that'll really knock your socks off this afternoon. We have Dale Boone, and this should be rather interesting. Last time we spoke with Boone, he was giving the commissioner, Charles Hardy, quite a hard time on the telephone, and I believe he hung up on him. So we'll get Boone back on the line. He's back from India, and he's in the States, so I'm sure he has a lot to get off his chest. I want to wish everyone a happy Father's Day. Today is June 18th, and let me mention about that song that just came off of the intro. Every time I hear that song, it just reminds me of junior high school. The last days before the summer was to start, and it just brings back so many bad memories. It was such a shitty junior high school that I went to. Those desks were clogged with filthy garbage, chewed gum that was pasted on the desk, potato chip bags, empty potato chip bags, and the worst shit imaginable. So this is what happens basically when your parents don't have the guilt to send you to parochial school or Catholic school, yeshiva or whatever. So it was incredible. I couldn't even put my loose leaf into this damn desk. So every time I hear that song, School's After Summer, it just brings back some really horrible memories. I want to discuss several things in competitive eating. There's a lot to discuss and a lot we got to catch up on. I want to wish also a happy birthday or belated birthday to Big Brian Subich and to Pat Bertoletti. Subich turned 32 and Bertoletti 21. And a lot of this was mentioned on trencherwoman.com. Matter of fact, Bertoletti got the most birthday comments on that website, and that was nice to see. I'd just like to know, the reason why when my birthday came up, not one person on that site wished me happy birthday. I think I might have gotten one. So I'm not going to say it was a zero. But I'm not going to get into happy birthdays that happened months ago, whatever. You wish happy birthday to whoever you feel deserves a happy birthday. I guess I don't deserve many praises. So the last 3 years of torture that my fans have had to endure on my website, shows when it comes to someone's birthday. Anyhow. There's a lot to catch up on. The Nathan's qualifiers, which are in full gear at the present time, and Big Brian Subich out in Virginia, magnificent job. First, he gave us a little teaser with 25 in Philly, coming in third to Humblebot Shouts 28, and Sonia, of course, magnificent 37 to win the Philadelphia qualifier. And then Subich comes back and just edges out Hall Hunt by, I believe it was like a half a hot dog, 20 and a half to 20 or 20 and a quarter, I don't even know the exact amount. But it was almost like a bite. Very similar to, I believe, Charles Hardy and Dominic Cardo in 2001, when they were a bite, actually a bite separated victory between the both of them, and Hardy pulled it off at the World Trade Center, which was the last World Trade Center qualifier. And right after the Subich victory, of course, they can't leave well enough alone. Apparently somebody out there had a video camera, videotaped the whole thing, and claims there was debris in Subich's cup, which would have given Hall Hunt the victory. Now, Hall didn't object to this at one bit, so the victory is in. The rules were put out in the IFOC quite some time back after myself, Alan Goldstein, and Rich Lefevre and Charles Hardy ate some pasta out in New York City for Columbus Day, and the rules stated that videotape replays will not be taken into consideration in the IFOC. So a videotape cannot be used to reverse a decision. So let's leave Brian Subich alone and let him have his victory and his day. He's tried God knows how many times for the last 2 years, and he had a short victory taken away from him on his first shot back in 2004 on his first attempt to advance to the Nathan's finals at the Molly Pitcher contest. We don't want to get into that. So Big Brian, we wish you the best, and that was a great victory. Chip Simpson, the man is outstanding. He's only 24 years old. I think he might have turned 25, I'm not sure. But he ate 38 hot dogs and buns to win the Minnesota qualifier, and he beat an even greater eater by the name of Pat Bertoletti. So, I mean, it's amazing. You got Chestnut, Bertoletti, and Simpson battling it out. Of course, you know, Chestnut with the 50 hot dogs, I don't think anybody's going to top that in the United States. But Chip Simpson came out of nowhere. No one knew what he could do in hot dogs, because this is his first year. He's a rookie. And 38 is just an outstanding number, and we wish him the best. He's a great eater and a great person to be around. Recently, this is just recent, Bob Shout, 29 hot dogs and buns at Shea Stadium. And for Bob, it was a long time coming. He suffered a lot of aggravation last year trying to get in, and he's put up some real big numbers, and he's upped his totals. It's an amazing victory. Charles Hardy's son, we have nicknamed him Fast Eddie. Now, I had come up with the name Steady Eddie, and we needed to get this nickname 5 minutes before the contest, because Rich Shea, you know, was announcing the names for the Shea Stadium qualifier. So we came up with Fast Eddie, and we had agreed on it, and that was Charles Hardy that came up with that name. Fast Eddie presides over Steady Eddie, and that will be his eating nickname, and I'm sure he'll be live up to that in the upcoming contest. He debuted with 17, if I'm mistaken, that's unconfirmed. And beautiful Brian finished third with 11, and that unfortunately will end my hot dog eating career. I just don't have it in hot dogs, and I think that it was long overdue that I would announce that, make that announcement. I've had some good times. I debuted with Badlands Booker in '97. In '98, I was there for the debut of Charles Hardy, and I was fortunate enough to be in the same contest with his son and his debut. So that's fantastic. To be with Hardy and Hardy's son is a great legacy, and to compete with the both of them. So I will pass this beautiful Brian hat on to Big Brian Subich at the Nathan's Finals, and if they let him wear it, that would be a great honor. That's an even greater honor than retiring my hat. So I'm looking forward to that. Anyhow, Dale Boone, Mouth of the South. We will be interviewing him. He's on the phone, back from India, in Atlanta, in the United States. Stay where you are. Eating fans, we have a special guest for Father's Day. I'm sure you're very much aware of Dale Boone, Mouth of the South, as they call him. He's been very, very active in the IFOC for the past 5 years. Rookie of the Year in 2002. Has won a numerous amount of speed eating titles and events, and beat some of the top competitive eaters in the IFOC as well. His name is all over the media. I'm sure you're well aware of the Mouth himself. Dale, good to have you on the show, man.
Who's your daddy, beautiful Brian? Tell me now.
All right, Dale, let's get on the serious side a bit. Last time we spoke was, I think it was roughly about 2 or 3 months back. We had a very angry commissioner on my show, Hungry Charles Hardy, who you had made some comments about on trenchwoman.com, which were directed towards him, and he was very upset about it, and he had a lot to get off his chest. Now, why did you hang up on him last time?
He's got a lot more than just a lot to get off his chest. He's got a whole ton to get off his chest and his stomach. But I didn't hang up on him. That phone gets cut. You know how the phones are in India. You just can't trust him to do nothing. But you know something? I should have hung the phone up on him, because he deserves every bit to be hung up on.
Well, Dad, you got to give him a little respect. He's the commissioner of the organization. I mean, if you were the commissioner, would you like someone to hang up on you?
He's not my commissioner. He may be having some title, but I don't consider him a commissioner.
All right. What is apparently there's something that's bothering you about what's going on in the organization and what's going on with some of these contests and some of these new people that are coming in. Does any of this affect you in any way? Because you seem to have a lot of hostility and rage built up inside of you lately.
Well, no, I mean, everybody just acting like everything's hunky-dory, but you know something? I noticed all the college kids, and remember how I say this, all the college kids that are putting up numbers of 50, 38, and 32 hot dogs and buns. I mean, ladies and gentlemen, people of the sport, people that have sit here and been into this thing for at least 5 years or more, we all know for 5 years all the struggle, and we may have increased ourselves maybe 2, 3, maybe 5 max. But no way in this guy's country are we going to do 50 hot dogs, 38 hot dogs, and 32 hot dogs from a normal person.
So what you're saying is you're not...
I'm telling you now, I'm suspecting something fishy. They may go ahead and play it like they don't know what I'm talking about, but I'm suspecting something fishy. I've been doing a lot of research on this stuff, and let me tell you something. Something don't seem right to me.
Like what?
I mean, something just don't seem right. Seems to me like, you know, hey, we need to start doing these contests necessary, because you know we don't need a freak show on our hands, because freak show on our hands is what's going to get us canceled off the TV and everything.
Right,
every time you go out there and throw out a freak show, then everybody's going to have something to complain about.
All right, so when Joey Chestnut claims that he's drinking 1.5 gallons of water in the morning and 1.5 gallons at night, you're not going to buy that. You're not going to buy the theory that that's the eventual reason why he's been able to eat 50 hot dogs. Is that correct?
Well, let me tell you something. Water training is very bad for you, point blank. People need to start going to the doctors. They need to start asking the questions, how these bodies function, how the stomach functions, and people will start learning. But I guarantee you what, to throw down 50 hot dogs, I mean, for one person to do it is called a phenomenon. But all of a sudden, now I have a handful of people to be able to put up such numbers. Just call me something fishy. Something ain't right. I'm going to start pointing fingers as soon as I figure it out.
Well, I mean, first you were accusing the Lefevres, the poor old Lefevres, of something in their arthritis medicine that was building up their appetite. I mean, what's next? You're gonna name what these drugs? Do you know what they're doing? If you think that they're doing,
don't believe me.
All right.
Go freaking internet and look it up yourself. Oh. That's all I got to say to any freaking body. You know something? I think these college kids went on the internet and started doing this stuff. That's probably what they've done. They've probably gone on the internet and looked on all this nonsense stuff that you can use. But what you've done, instead of trying to win contests, they've turned this thing into a freak show. When you turn it into a freak show, who wants to see a freak show when you're doing something dangerous to your body?
All right, well, let's talk a little bit. Let's change the subject for a minute. Let's talk about Atlanta. Atlanta, Georgia, the next qualifier that's going to be coming up on June 24th, which is another few days away, actually about a week away. And do you expect to pull the same shenanigans that you pulled last year? We've heard rumors that you're going to lock the door at the zoo in Nathan's. That's supposedly the name of the Nathan's out in Atlanta, Georgia, if any of you are not familiar with that. You intend on locking the door, not letting anyone in, and you have the manager's key. Is that correct?
Let me tell you something. When Boone gets out of that limo, when Boone marches up there, he will be covered. He will be covered all the way till he gets to that front door. And then when Boone is handed that microphone and those curtains are dropped, and when those people see the 105 pounds that have dropped in the person standing there before you, not only will those people know that a can of whoop ass is getting ready to get on them, but they're going to be standing in their own due.
Okay, so basically, if it was Boone against Boone, or Boone in going against kids in a meat eating competition, that would be sufficient for you. That would be sufficient for you as long as you win the damn qualifier, right?
Let me tell you something. These big shots, like I said before, these people think right now that all they know about Boone, all these boys, all they know about Boone is what the other eaters tell Boone. These new punks on the block have never dealt with Boone. They've never seen me eat. They have no idea. I'm sitting back in India and I'm watching every freaking contest that they're doing. I know every little move that they make. I know when they're going to turn on the speed. I know every little freaking thing that they do. They're stupid enough to do it in front of the cameras, and I appreciate them for doing it. They have no freaking idea what's getting ready to hit them at Zoo Atlanta. Come one, come all, because I'm telling you right now, they're going to get a can of whoop-ass laid onto them.
All right, now Dale, you realize you got a pretty big competitor coming in there, possibly Pat Bertoletti, and without question, Hall Hunt is going to, avenge a very close decision that he lost to Big Brian Subich in Virginia. What's your comment on that?
Hal who?
Oh, God.
Who? Hal Hunt? Hello, Hal Hunt? Is that what you said?
Like the commissioner said a few months ago, I didn't stutter.
Well,
So you want me to repeat
like
the
I
name?
said, boys, I'm coming in 100 pounds lighter. I have one more year of training. And let me tell you something. You think you're over here wrangling about a hot dog contest? You ain't seen the contest in Asia till you've been in a few of them. And I was not only in contests in India, but I was in contests in Bangkok, Thailand, Singapore, Malaysia. All them places out. You think them people ain't got eaters over there? You ain't seen nothing yet.
All right,
And
Dale.
you're getting ready to be having a rude awakening because you've never seen me eat, not in this style, not in the style that you are getting ready to see in. You think Joey Chestnut showing this style? You ain't seen nothing yet.
All right, Dale, are you going to be able to eat over 32 hot dogs? Because that's what Pat Bertoletti put up, and if he does Atlanta, you're going to have to beat those numbers. So, okay, so let's
see.
talk about it.
Subich put up 25, then he did 20. So let's see Pat Bertoletti do it twice in a row. And let's see Pat Bertoletti do it when he has to come travel to Atlanta. I'll be sleeping in my own bed. I'll be waking on up and taking up my own shower in my own tub. Let's see Bertoletti come on out of his Chicago area and see him try to qualify in a hostile territory.
All right, we'll be back in a moment with Dale, mouth of the South Boone. Stay right where you are. Don't go anywhere. Boone, my special guest for Father's Day. Dale, I want to get into something that a lot of the inquiring minds want to know, because we never got the real story. I had Tim Janis on my show a few months back, actually about a month ago, and I wanted to discuss Vegas. I know it's old news, U.S. Open, and he was sort of tight-lipped about it because I think he didn't want to step on anyone's toes, but what actually happened, because there seems to be a problem with you and Crazy Legs Conti. Every single time that you're around him in any club or a bar or a strip joint or whatever the hell it is, people claim that you have to put on a big show in front of him or that you're trying to impress him. Is that how it's gone down, or what?
You must be a joke, right? Let me tell you something. Let me tell you a little story, okay? I'm gonna tell you a little story right to your face, okay? When you have a friend that you cannot trust, whether it be to pick up women, whether it be to be there for you when you need them, or let it be when they turn you out on the streets of New York City at 1 o'clock in the morning and it's your first trip to New York and you've never been to such a place. Let me tell you something. You want to hear the word don't trust somebody? You want to hear the word backstabber, lowlife, scum off the street? They have no decent working job, but yet they want to be high and mighty. They want to be in front of the camera. They can't even make it in their own field. Their own college degree means nothing to them because they're a big disappointment because they couldn't take a real pressure of a real job, so they decide to quit and wash windows.
Yeah,
or, excuse me,
come on,
I know what I'm going to tell my children when they grow up. Hell, Daddy, I'm a sperm donor.
Dale, do you know how much Crazy Legs has given to other people? You know how much he's donated to charities? Do you realize what he's
Let me tell
giving
you something. You know what the name of this
he'd give you the
person
shirt
is?
off his back if you ask him to.
Legs. Freaking Jason Costi is the name of such a person. You got to defend him, and I got the stories to tell you his dark, deepest secrets. I have never seen such a lousy friend, a lousy person in my entire life.
Now, Dale, in all due respect for Crazy Legs Conti, when you did the U.S. Open at one of the Stratosphere, I believe the club that was in Vegas, you deliberately went in there and started a fight with him. I mean, there was no reason. This was apparently due to that they wouldn't play one of your karaoke songs in that club. Was that a reason to pick on Tim Janis? And then Crazy Legs, from what I heard, came to poor Tim's defense, and apparently there was a sucker punch involved. I don't know who threw it. I wasn't there, but I'm not going to say anything. Why on earth would you want to start any kind of a fracas of that nature?
If you gotta tell the story, you need to tell the story right. There you go, if. You don't know the true story. You want to know the true story about Scum? When I arranged a limousine for everybody to go out to Las Vegas, and we had the heart trying to make it up to Hardy and Crazy Legs and stop by the club that they're asked to pick their asses up.
Yeah, but then you charge all the people that were in that limousine $10 a head. There's a difference between picking people up and saying, oh, by the way, you know, that'll be $10 from you and 10 from you and 10. And I was in that limousine. I could vouch for that. Explain that, Dale, okay, please.
Hey, look at you trying to be cheap. You're trying to be cheap in Vegas. What's wrong with you?
No, I'm just saying is, you know, the animosity that was caused. You had the limo driver came running into the club saying that you owed him money, and then, you know, the owner of the strip club got involved. Listen, I don't want to get into any of this. I'm just saying this. It's bad blood between everyone. It has to stop.
Was the whore that Crazy Legs Costi brought in the goddamn limousine and started the shit. If you gotta pick up a girl, make sure a goddamn ass ain't no prostitute. That's about damn Crazy Legs speed.
All right, now what happened in the Stratosphere afterwards? Apparently they said.
The fight was this dumbass wanted to take a whore back into the limousine and give him my ass fucking orders so he can get us some hanky-panky. Instead of staying in the strip club with the rest of us, which we all had a damn good time, to this very day everybody talks about what a good time they had in that strip club while Crazy Legs Conti went outside trying to make it with a prostitute. And you know something? He didn't even have the cash to pay her. If you're going to be hanging out with a prostitute, don't think anything's free. You better not even think it, buddy. But to be a cheap ass and not even pay a prostitute in a state where it's legal, that's pretty damn sad. But wait a minute, like I said, it's Jason fucking Conti.
All right, but the thing is, Dale, Crazy Legs was with this woman. He wasn't bothering anyone. We don't know if she was a prostitute or not, okay? But you came over to him and you deliberately asked him to meet you and all the rest of us in another club. So you incited this whole situation to begin with. Am I correct?
Do what?
Crazy Legs was basically with this woman. He wasn't bothering anyone. And you came over to him, I was there, and you said, Crazy Legs, we got this party in another joint. You want to come and join us? He says no. And then you said, come on, it's going to be great. So actually, you initiated this whole brawl. You didn't leave...
Let me play the man. Southern style. Oh. That means you're with a woman. That means you put your damn woman to the damn club. It doesn't mean you pick up some skank in some damn piece of shit club in Las Vegas. Because that's what it was, bro. It was skank. It was skank from here to Kingdom Come. She was a whore. Okay? Don't sit there and say he picked up some girl like she's something. It's a joke. She probably picked up 20 men. This dumbass probably thought he had some money. Then he found out what a cheap ass he was. What a fucking joke. Okay? Crazy Legs Conti is not the ladies' man. He is a joke. Okay? It is a joke. point blank to his face. And once you've seen the slim down Boone, you're going to think, ladies, man, let me tell you something. Not all of them are going to have to fire all the damn meters from losing the contest, but I'm going to have to get me a stick to knock all the bitches back, too. You want to hear the damn truth of it? Crazy Legs Conti, what a joke.
All right, now, I'm just going to get into the tail end of it. Did you sucker punch him in that club? Because that's what I've been hearing.
What? I mean, you gossip like little ladies. You gossip like little ladies. And you know damn well no Southerners tell you what the hell happens because it's nobody's damn business. Understand that? It's nobody's business. Crazy Legs Conti knows if it's finished or not. Crazy Legs Conti knows what his ass did. And Crazy Legs Conti is the only person that's going to know if it's over or not.
So apparently there's more of a love-hate relationship between the both of you. This is a situation where the two of you are never going to kiss and make up. Am I correct?
Hate relationship. I just don't let nobody bend my ass over and try to stick it in as all the way they want to. Who the hell do you think I am?
All right, Dale, enough. This is getting out of hand. Let me change the subject. Let's talk about your diet. And that's a very positive thing that's been happening in your life. You lost 104 pounds. Am I correct?
Let me tell you something. I'm down to 105 pounds. There you go again with this gossip. It's 105 pounds.
Okay.
Understand? 105.
I apologize for being off 1 pound. Now, what do you attribute this diet to? Is it the Middle Eastern culture, the Far East food that we can't get in the United States, or is it just that you've been laying off a lot of the high-fat content and the high-calorie foods and that you're so used to eating?
Let me tell you something. You want to learn how I lost all this weight in 6 months and less? You want to learn how I kept it off and how it stays off? Then you need to buy the Dale Boone Indian Diet book, which will be coming out next month. Don't miss it.
I knew there was a by the way there somewhere. When is this book coming out again?
I'm going to let it come out on the Bali. So all you people are not from India, you have to figure out what the Bali is.
Okay, is that going to have that picture of you with that sourpuss look and with the coonskin hat on that I've put on my website on many occasions? I think that would be perfect for the book. I mean, as soon as they see the book, they have that there and show one of your little Middle Eastern delicacies that you've been snacking on every now and then.
Yeah. I don't know where you keep getting off because India is nowhere near the Middle East.
Okay.
India in South Continent, India itself and Asia. It's right next to Burma. It's right next to Nepal, right next to Thailand. And Thailand's just on this side of Vietnam. So we over there in the nice, good countries. Let me tell you something. I have never seen so many ugly women like I have seen since I've been back in the U.S. I am so appreciative of getting my butt back to India to all the beautiful women.
Oh, come on. Now, that's a really stupid-ass remark. I mean, the women in the United States happen to be the most beautiful women in the world. How can you even compare?
Lies that you tell. What lies that you tell? You've never seen a damn beautiful woman till your butt's been to India. Because these women over here are skangy, and not only skangy, but they are fat. I've never seen so many fat American women in my entire life with all the fat flesh hanging off of them.
Dale, you got to understand something that the times have changed in the last 30 years. You know, you have supermarkets, you have these fast food chains that are open 24 hours a day now. They don't close at 6 or 7 o'clock at night anymore. So that's why you see more fat or heavy-set people in the world. And that's a sad situation, but that's life and that's what's happening. But to make a remark that the women in the United States are ugly, I don't think that's. They have shitty attitudes. Like that, I'll agree with you. But they're not ugly. Far from ugly. They manage it. Yeah, go ahead.
You can't sit there and call India a poor country. They've got Pizza Hut. They've got Domino's. They got everything we got. They got 7-Eleven. Matter of fact, that's where 7-Eleven came from.
I've never been to India. I'm not saying anything bad about India. I
have no starving children over there. Boone makes sure of that.
Well, did you have any intention of going back? You've been there. You were there for quite some time.
I'm going to come. I'm going to chew a lot of bubble gum. Then I'm going to kick a lot of ass. Then I'm going back to India.
Okay. All right. Dale Boone, Dale Mouth of the South Boone. He got a lot off his chest. on Beautiful Brian's Corner, and we will be seeing him on June the 24th at the zoo in Atlanta. Am I correct?
You're going to be seeing me on the 24th. You're going to be seeing me so much in the month of June and July. You're going to wish that I didn't get my butt on that plane and fly back in there. As you said, who is your daddy?
All right, Dale. Well, we wish you the best, and, hang in there. You are still one of the greats as far as speed eaters in the IFOC, and we can never take that away from you. The arrogance, of course, will always be with you, and that's something, unfortunately, that all the eaters in the IFOC will have to deal with and try to make the best of it. But we'll be seeing you soon. Nice having you on the show, man.
See you later.
All right. We'll be back in a moment. Dale Boone. Okay, eating fans, that'll about wrap up the show. Before I go, we took to the streets and we interviewed a young man. And this is like about maybe 2 or 3 seconds, and asked him what his opinion is of Beautiful Brian's Corner, and basically here's what he had to say. Real wise ass, huh? Anyway, it was great being with you. We'll be back in another couple of weeks. My guest will either be Badlands Booker or Jammin' Joe LaRue, and Joe LaRue's cooking up something real good, and we're going to be feasting on that. So it's between the both of them. If they don't battle it out, or kill each other before I could get at least one of them on the show. Anyway, we'll see you soon. Stay hungry and focused, as Badlands says, and we'll be right back at you very shortly.